Afternoon, all. Been hooked on the subreddit since I came across it a month or so ago. Really had wished I had a story of my own, but couldn't think of anything. Until last night, I was going through all my old Facebook messages looking for something unrelated to my story. Until I came across a string of old messages, and the memories came flooding back. I couldn't believe I had forgotten this, but was too tired to write up last night. I grew up in a suburb out of DC. This happened late 2011, a few months after I graduated high school and was working my first job at a restaurant. Instead of starting college in the fall, I started in January, so I was making some money before I left. I grew up in a very religious Mormon household, so church every Sunday was just part of the deal. A family friend started bringing a friend to church. Let's call him Sam. Sam was in his early 30s. He looked like a C version of John Legend if he was from Brooklyn, always wore a polo vest and didn't star in La La Land. We said a few pleasantries at church here and there, but other than knowing each other's names, that's far as our relationship went. He has me on Facebook over the summer and would randomly hit me up on Facebook. Nothing crazy, just a "what's up, bro? Saw you at church, you're a cool dude, we should chill." I went along with it, but had no intentions of hanging out with him. After a few months, I realized he was kind of a weird dude. He posted a lot about Satan on his Facebook and the New World Order. Every time I came across a post of his, I'd roll my eyes and keep on scrolling. I hadn't been going to church as much as once I graduated because honestly, I just didn't want to go anymore. I don't know if he was there every week or what, but I hadn't seen him in person for a while. So it's a normal day at work, it's after 3, I get off at 5, but from 3 to 5 I'm pretty much doing nothing minus seating a few stragglers who come in for a late lunch or early dinner. I'm on the phone wasting time when I see a "Yo, Jake." Oh, her name's not Jake, you know the drill. "What's up, Sam? Hey man, do you by chance drive?" "Yeah, I do, I'm at work though, what's up?" "Listen, bud, my girl left our 6-year-old home alone. Can you take me there?" "Yeah, I'll get you when I get off." We exchange numbers so he can text me his address. I see it's less than 10 minutes from work, so I figure this will only add 30 minutes to my day max. I ask my manager if I can get off a little early and show him the messages. He agrees. Now, at the time, I wasn't thinking this, but looking back, this was a weird thing of him to ask me. I knew him the same way you know your physics lab partner after week 2. Not exactly someone you hit up to take you to your kid who's home alone. I arrive to pick him up and we both say hello. "Hey Sam, so where's your kid? Somewhere here in town A?" "Nah man, he's in town B in West Virginia." At this point nothing felt creepy or off, I was just annoyed. I had a Mr. Robot moment, where in my head I'm going off like, are you shitting me dude, fucking West Virginia. Not even a different town down the road, a different state? Fuck outta here dude. I'm gonna be so late to whatever bomb ass dish my mom is cooking up, thanks to your non-driving ass. But of course I didn't say this out loud. I'm already on the hook, or at least felt like I was at the time. And while I don't live in West Virginia, it was within a semi-reasonable driving distance, about 45 minutes each way from the address we were going to. So I nod my head and smile, saying something like, "Oh, okay, cool, no worries," and we head off. I don't remember too much in the car ride there, other than I was listening to my CD I burned and he occasionally chimed in with small talk. I drove an old 1990 Honda Accord. There was no outlet to charge my phone, and I was really hoping to get there ASAP so I would have enough battery to find my way back. After about 20 minutes from our destination, I need to get gas. We're in West Virginia at this point and stop at a gas station. As I'm pumping gas, he gets out and gets snack. As he comes back, he notices a white lady innocently pumping her gas with a small child in the back seat. "Hey mama, where's your man? Why are you here by yourself? You're a stripper, aren't you? You're a slut, aren't you?" Now this came out completely out of left field. I felt so bad for her, as she hadn't done anything to him, and was just the target of this random spew of hate. This went back and forth briefly, before I finished filling up, and we got back inside the car. He's laughing to himself as he eats his chips while we get back on the road, proud of his interaction with her. Well, I don't convey it externally, but at this point I'm telling myself, this is for sure the last time I'm doing this guy any favors, as his true colors are starting to show. This is the beginning of November, so it's still warm-ish, or at least not super cold, but the sun is starting to go down much quicker. The sun had been setting pretty much the entire drive, and at this point had reached past the point of ultimate sunset Instagram pic galore. As we're getting closer, I realize we haven't once talked about this kid. That was the whole point of this trip. He never seemed concerned in the slightest. So I ask him about this kid. I ask him what his name was. He literally says, "Yeah, we're almost there." I know he knew what I asked, still though not creeped out, but something is feeling a little off. while I could definitely still drive to that gas station again from that point on, I do not really remember specific details. I do remember, however, the street the house was on. We had reached the point of WV where the phone goes from 4G to 3G to 1X to, your phone is serviced as your ally. Before you pull onto the street, you pass under a stone overpass for a small 2-lane street above, and then you come to a stop sign and then to a 4-way. We go straight and then 5 seconds later make a right onto a dirt road. It was so dark. The street most likely had a street name, but I don't remember seeing anything. I've never driven down a road so dark. There were 0 street lights, all the houses were on the left, and were completely surrounded by woods. Each house is slightly back from the road, and had gravel driveways you could have to catch up to get to the house, maybe 20 to 30 feet long. The house had no lights on, but you could see a room upstairs was lit by candles. I'm mind-blown that someone would ever leave a kid in the middle of fucking nowhere like this, but I'd never seen him with a picture of a kid on Facebook, and he had never ever mentioned a kid or a girl, and then certainly had never been to church with him. We pulled into the driveway, and he gives me gas money. As he's getting out, he pauses, and asks if I want to come in quick. Why would I need to come in when he's just going to be with his kid? Why is this house completely dark? What good can come of such a request? But I had a brain fart, and even though my mind said no, 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 my mouth said sure. I don't know why that came out of my mouth. Cool, come on in, said Sam. I get out of the car, lock it, but I'm scrambling, trying to think of an excuse to not go in. I look at my phone, see it's at 1%, and then immediately dies. As I look up, I was about to say something to him, but he's not where I thought he was. And instead I found myself looking into a room on the first floor. Well, it is completely dark both outside and in the house. The moon and the stars give just enough light. I notice a face in the window staring back at me. As soon as we make eye contact, it just backs up in the darkness and disappears. At this point, my note meter is on full blast. I tell Sam that I didn't realize how late it was and I didn't want to worry my mom and I should head back for dinner. Luckily, he's not pushy about it and says, "All right, man, thanks again for the lift." I back out of the driveway as quickly as I can and get back onto the road. As I go back under the overpass and I'm again surrounded by streetlights, I feel the anxiety wash away. All I had to do at this point was to make my way back. Luckily, we never made a terrible amount of turns, so I was pretty confident in getting home no problem. However, the fun wasn't over yet. I've hit that point where I'm not just hungry, I'm in pain because I'm just that hungry. I see a 7-Eleven coming up and I decide I gotta get a few snacks to hold me over as I'm still about 45 minutes from home. While I was in very rural West Virginia, nothing about the store or general area minus the street with no lights felt relatively creepy. I walked into the store and it's just me, the kid at the register, and a guy grabbing something to drink in the back of the store. As I'm walking in, I noticed the kid working was kind of looking at me funny. He looked like Nash from the Night of, or whatever his name was in Rogue One, with those similar wide eyes. It was like he was trying to get my attention without saying anything. I didn't pay much attention to it though, and went to grab a Snickers and some chips. I get to the counter to pay for the stuff. As he is scanning my items, I again notice he's very intently looking at me, and then at the item, and then back at me, then behind me. I slide my car, put in my PIN, and wait for it to go through. I look up again and notice that, at this point, he's just staring right behind me and not moving. It's at this point I turn around. I notice the guy who was once in the back getting something is now standing about a 4 arms length away from me. We're pretty much the same height, but he's not looking at me, just slightly to the side. There is nothing out of ordinary about him. Usually this is the point where the guy you run into has long, greasy, unkept hair or a big, bushy beard or Dahmer glasses, but this guy had none of that, just a super boring looking white guy in a plaid shirt and khakis who looked like someone you'd see in a stock image. Someone makes a meme out of, you know? Probably due to his physical appearance. I really wasn't creeped out, but I wondered how long he had been standing there because I certainly did not hear him come up from behind me. While still looking off to the side, he says, "Today is my birthday." As he says birth and the birthday, he adds emphasis to it, turns to me, and as he says it, with a slight head nod while saying it, as if to make his point clear. He doesn't say it in a threatening way or a baby voice, just a normal voice. I just kind of look at him and say, "Cool, man, congrats." Not really knowing what else to say, and I'm still hungry as fuck. He then looks down slightly and gives a slight head nod to the side with a like a half chuckle to himself. I then hear the receipt start to come out and turn back around. As he's putting the receipt in my bag, the guy behind me then whispers, "Today's not your birthday and bad news for you." I grab my bag and quickly look at the poor kid one last time, and for all I know, he had shit his pants and just standing in it. I turned around, and as I walked away, his eyes followed. For whatever reason, I just didn't even say anything to him, as my hunger was overpowering my fear at this point, and I just wanted to get in my car and open my damn Snickers. I'm about halfway between the store and my car, and I look back and he's now standing outside the store for the second time. I didn't hear him make a sound. I didn't hear the door behind me, but there he was. He was about 10 feet away, just ajar from the door to the store. He wasn't walking towards me, but his demeanor had changed. His face had anger, yet lifelessness at the same time. I'd never seen such an expression before, and I can't think of anything to compare it to. He just looked angry, but it's like there was nothing going on behind his cold, dead brown eyes. He then says something I will never forget. "I'm just kidding, it's not your birthday. It's Sam's." It was at that moment I no longer felt hungry. Those chills were never ready to hit me full blast, cascading down my spine like a waterfall of fear. I felt myself almost choke on my own inhale as my eyes involuntarily fill with tears. Not a moment later, he turns, walks away from the store and into the woods. This was the first time I saw him move, and it was odd. He kept both arms straight down by his side, and took not super long steps, but longer than your average steps, and at a very even keel but slow pace. He never looked back, just kept walking into the woods, which what felt like forever until I couldn't see or hear him anymore. I shake my arms out and bend over to catch my breath, as what just happened didn't feel real. What just happened? Who is this guy? How did he know I know Sam earlier? Or was it just a freak coincidence? I know for a fact no one followed me from the house to the store, as I didn't see a single car between the house and the 7-Eleven in any direction. I then look back into the store, and this poor kid is just staring at me again like he's just witnessed a murder. I put the phone signal with my hand up to my ear and mouth to call the police. He nods and picks up the phone. I then take a full panoramic view of the area, making sure nothing else was about to happen, and that the coast was clear. I get in my car with a dead phone, luckily find my way back home. Fast forward a few hours, he hits me back up and asks if I got home okay. I tell him yeah, and he thanks me again, and once again brings up that we should chill. I again go along with it, but have zero intention of following that request up. Fast forward now a few months, and I hadn't talked to him for a while. I still saw his ignorant Facebook from time to time, but at this point they were getting bad. This was in early 2012 now, and Facebook was going through a weird period where people were uploading horrific beheading videos and ISIS-like videos, and that weren't getting flagged. Well, guess who posted these on the reg? Yep, Sam, of course. I'm lying in bed about to go to sleep when I get a Facebook message. Guess who? Yo, what's up? I need a favor, I'm in a fucked up situation. I don't know how much I can help, but what is it? I need a ride from town A to town B, bro. I'll give you gas money. I don't want to sleep outside. Sorry, man, I have no car to come get you in. He never messaged me again after that. I unfriended him and haven't seen him since. He still lives in the same area about 15 minutes from me. Last night when I came across the messages, I decided to peek at his profile. His profile picture was no longer a dumb shirtless mirror selfie, but now it's just a pentagram. He posts a status or repost about every 3 hours, mostly about fucking white bitches and the New World Order is upon us, almost. One of the most recent ones is a CNN video about a town in Somalia feeling as if multiple people were possessed by demons, to which his quote was, "the best." This ended up being twice as long as I thought it would be. I just didn't want to leave anything out. Thanks for going on this ride with me as I went down memory lane remembering it, and I look forward to reading more of your stories. This is not my main account, as I didn't want to get back to me personally in any way, and I felt semi-paranoid at the thought of writing this in the event Sam reads this and recognizes it, but he doesn't strike me as the type to be on here. Lastly, to any of you living in West Virginia, I tip my hat to you.